Time now for Media Watch, and we start with extremely strong reactions to John McCain's return to the floor of the US Senate for tonight's vote on healthcare. Emma James, tell us more.
Yes, Senator McCain was back in business just days after being diagnosed with brain cancer. And he's seen a real outpouring of love on social media in the days since his diagnosis, but that has very much changed tonight, at least with some people. Tweets like this, very commonplace immediately after the vote. In the movies, John McCain hauls himself from his sickbed, delivers the big speech, then votes, "No, this ain't the movies," says David Frum of The Atlantic. This Twitter user says, "Last week I prayed for your health, this week for your soul. How could you betray us? So ashamed of you." Very, very strong words, and these tweets were coming thick and fast in the wake of that vote. McCain literally left his taxpayer-financed hospital bed to vote to strip millions of Americans of healthcare. Absolutely disgusting. Now, of course, not everyone is angry, and I should point out that Mr. McCain has said himself that he will not vote for the healthcare bill as it stands. This is only a step towards repealing Obamacare and possibly replacing it with a Republican health deal. But of course, many people were very pleased to see him back on the Senate floor tonight. He got a round of applause, a standing ovation, really, as the 80-year-old returned to the floor of the Senate. And he also got words of praise from the president. Donald Trump tweeting, "So great that John McCain is coming back to vote. Brave American hero, thank you, John." Of course, very different to the kind of words that we've heard Donald Trump use before, where he's really played down the level of McCain's heroism when he was, of course, a Vietnam veteran and a prisoner of war. I think he said something like, "I prefer my heroes not to have been caught." A lot of people, though, were really hoping that John McCain was going to put country over party when it came to this vote. This article in The Atlantic is a very interesting read from a few days ago, yesterday, in fact. What John McCain can learn from Claire Engel. Now, that may not be a name that you know, but he's a politician. US politician who died 50 years ago. And he, virtually in his dying breath, actually managed to help push through civil rights legislation in the 1960s. He, of course, was battling brain cancer, hence the comparison. And this article, it says, more than most politicians, McCain has had dramatic moments of principle above party high road stands. Not on this occasion, though, and this tweet similar to many others. "I never want to hear another word about how John McCain puts country above party, not one word."
Emma, you've also been looking at the fallout from the latest speech given by the US President Donald Trump to a group of Boy Scouts.
Yes, you do wonder how far wrong you can go when addressing a group of Boy Scouts, but apparently Donald Trump thought that this was some kind of a campaign rally faced with 35 to 40,000 scouts. He didn't quite come up with the phrase "make scouting great again." He promised it wasn't going to be about politics. However, he can't really keep away from the topic. Take a listen to this.
Tonight, we put aside all of the policy fights in Washington, D.C. you've been hearing about with the fake news and all of that. We're going to put that aside. And instead, we're going to talk about success. Who the hell wants to speak about politics when I'm in front of the Boy Scouts, right?
Who indeed would want to talk about politics in front of Boy Scouts? Well, apparently he did. The Daily Beast has written this article under the subheading "Scouts Dishonour," which I thought was particularly clever. He went on to talk about the size of his electoral college win, of course, the beleaguered health bill, and he exhorted this group of young men to boo Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. It was, according to The Atlantic, a jarringly partisan speech to an apolitical audience, this one comprising tens of thousands still too young to vote. Now, interestingly, the Boy Scouts of America has actually sought to distance itself a little bit from this row, saying that it is always, it's a matter of course, a long-standing tradition to invite the president, but pointing out that the group does not promote any one political candidate or philosophy. Last word on this, Pete Souza, the former White House photographer, has been throwing some shade in Donald Trump's direction, as he often does whenever Donald Trump steals the headlines. This is, of course, a picture of Barack Obama with a Cub Scout, and the caption says, says, "I can assure you the president was not telling this Cub Scout and the Boy Scouts who followed about his electoral college victory."
Emma James with MediaWatch, thank you very much. We're taking a very short break now, but do stay with us here on France 24. There's more headlines, news and analysis from across the globe coming up very shortly.